What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk a little bit about tissue culture flasks, and I'm going to divide them into two categories: reusable and non-reusable. So let's start with the reusable. Here I have a magenta box, and what I really like about them is that they look very professional. They use this is basically what professional labs use, and you can pretty much you can stack them very nicely in my shelves, and it can be reused for they can last for many years. One of the downsides is that they may fade out over time, but I mean, when I say over time, if after a couple of years, you cannot notice that the plastic is not as crystal clear. But anyways, the next I have uh, glass jars from Plant Cell Technology, and they have the vented lids. Uh, Having vented lids, it is very beneficial for a lot of plants as they allow for oxygen exchange. Now this is the 250 milliliters, and for me this is basically the perfect size. We also have 500 and 1000 milliliters. Now for the 1000 milliliters, they are very tall, which are great for tall plants, but I don't use that as much as I don't have plants that get that tall. So for me, this is basically the perfect size. Now on this channel, this is pretty much for beginners on tissue culture. So Plant Cell Technology, it is a business, so that's why I'm showing you this first, as we sell this on the website. So you can just go check it out in the link down below. And you can use code FP10 for a 10% discount on your first purchase. However, I also, like I say, this is a channel pretty much for beginners, so I'm aware that a lot of you don't want to spend a lot of money on flasks or media or that kind of stuff, and that's fine. You can find a lot of stuff like locally or use some alternatives. So one great alternative is to use baby food jars. Now, yes, this one has a magenta big cap on top, but you can keep the metal lids. I do recommend probably to make a small hole on the top and put some medical tape, like the 3M micropore tape, and that way, basically, you make yourself a vented flask. And that has worked for me before, and they do fine on this. Another option that you have is you can use canning jars, like mason jars. Again, I would recommend to make a small hole, but they are great. One of the downsides of using this is that because you're using all this metal instead of clear plastic, they don't get as much light. But that's something that you will have to accommodate. But I mean, they work. So now these are the kind of the reusable tissue culture flask. The downside about this, well, the great side about this is they can be reused. The downside is that you have to wash them, and I don't have time for that. It's just I just way too busy, and I have so many other experiments to do, so I just don't have time to wash them. So you have seen me use a lot of non-reusable tissue culture flasks, like Deli Containers. So Deli Containers are great for me. I have most of my plants are in Deli Containers, and because they are used so great, I can place this in the microwave or I can just place it in the pressure cooker. Both ways work fine. I want to leave the link down below where I get this. I don't get paid anything for promoting this website or any other website. I probably should. But anyways, they are great. You can find them in 8, 12, 16, and 32 ounces. And this is the 16 ounce, and this is pretty much the perfect size for me. Plants do very well on this size. So what I recommend is if you have taller plants, use the 16. If you have very like a shorter plants, use the 8 ounce. That will probably save you the most space. Now for pricing on this, I do not remember how much they are. I believe a box is close to $40 something. I could be wrong, close to $50 per box, and I believe I that's for the container, and the lid I think is close to $30. So you're probably going to be ended up paying close to $80. I could be wrong. I'm probably going to have the numbers right here, but you're going to get 500. So that's a good size. You're going to pay a little bit more that maybe you're going to pay for some of these other flasks, but you get a lot more. So next, this is where I get a lot of questions. Like you have seen me use this a lot. 4 ounce and 2 ounces. There are also other sizes like 5.5 or even 1 ounce. These are portion cups, and this I get from another website, link down below. And the questions I get is because a lot of you have used some of these cups before, and you have the issue that they melt, the lids melt, and that is because the lids are made of another material. Not this. These are made out of polypropylene, both the lid and the cup. But there are a lot of places they're actually hard to find. That's why I'm linking the website right here, because a lot of the other places, including the place where I get the Deli Containers, they also sell some of these portion cups. However, the lids, they don't have polypropylene lids. They only have lids made out of PET or another type of plastic, which they don't withstand the temperature. So these are great. I really like them. The downside is that, they are very cheap. When I'm talking for the 4 ounce, you are going to be spending 3 cents per cup like this, and about 2 cents for the 2 ounce. The downside is that you have to get 2,500. So you have to get like quite big boxes, and you probably don't need that much, but they are not that expensive. The downside of using these cups for tissue culture, one is that they are sealed, so they don't have a ventilation. Again, you can use a small hole and put some micropore tape. But the biggest downside for me is that the plants doesn't last as long on these cups. Yes, I have some of these that they have been here for a long time. This is actually this is from July 17 of 2020. So this has been here for over a year. But this is a pinguicula. I do have other plants that they don't last more than a month in these cups. Most of the aquatic plants. The good thing about these containers is that they are the perfect size for selling plants. So if you are selling aquatic plants, this is the size I recommend, the 4 ounce. And basically this is the kind of the standard size for tissue culture cups for aquatic plants. So this is the size that you want to get. And maybe you want to also get a small cup for like a mosses or some other smaller plants. But this is everything. This is all the tissue culture flasks that I use here on the lab. Like I said, I'm not getting paid for any of these companies to promote them, except for Plant Cell, obviously. But if you want to get something that is more reusable, obviously you want to go to plantcelltechnology.com. However, I do understand that you want to start as cheap as possible, so you can find some of these cups. Now, you recommend me, if you ask me which cups I do recommend to you to start, I will start with Deli Containers. You can find them anywhere, and they are probably the easiest to sterilize, in my opinion. And the easiest to work as well, because they are quite big, so you can remove the cups and you can move plants very easily. I don't like test tubes. I absolutely hate test tubes. I don't even have test tubes right here to even talk about, because I absolutely hate them. They are very small, and then I'll have to use the very long forceps, and I just don't like them. So for me, the easiest to work with are by far the Deli Containers. Also, I can open this with one hand, so they are also very easy for me to work with. But anyways, I hope you have enjoyed it, and then I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying these tissue culture videos, be sure to follow us on social media for more informative content. And if you're interested in conducting your own tissue culture experiments, make sure to check us out at plantcelltechnology.com for all the products you need to get started. Use the code FP10 for 10% off your first purchase.